KFMA. Just a reminder, we got Halloween right around the corner, and we want to play a bunch of covers on Halloween because, in my mind, that's bands dressing up like other bands. So
Yep.
I'm going to make a post on our Facebook page asking you what your favorite rock cover song of all time is, and I encourage you to comment below, and maybe you'll hear that on Halloween for our big Halloween show. Yeah, so it's a big deal.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and you should be excited because it's going to be fun. Little something different on the radio. All songs you know and love, but by who? Trick or treat, bitches. I feel like this is normal when people go through breakups. I went through a breakup this year, and there's a different introspective parts of your life where you're kind of like you're asking yourself questions and you're reflecting and you're trying to see, am I as bad as sometimes through a bad breakup being accused of being, and
right.
And sometimes you just end up throwing yourself a pity party, but for the sake of growing and becoming a better person. And now I've had those days where I've been down on myself, like I was not a great boyfriend, but in hindsight I feel like I was a decent boyfriend. And I have a couple stories that I want to share with you that showcase that I'm not as bad as these guys. Okay. So, and this is for anybody out there who may have felt like they were a bad boyfriend at one point or another. At least you weren't as bad as these guys. On Sunday, police in East Hampton, New York, received a phone call from a concerned man who said his girlfriend had gone missing. Yeah. Now, of course, that's very concerned caring boyfriend, right? Oh no, where's your girlfriend? Very upsetting. And immediately he calls the cops and he wants to get the answers and protect her from any kind of misdoing or harm that may come to her.
Right.
Now, fortunately, the cops were able to ping her phone and track it. And they found her exact location as she was exiting a movie theater. It seems that she was seeing a movie with a friend and turned off her phone.
Oh.
Yeah, probably to avoid ruining the film for herself and others, dealing with texts and phone calls from an annoying boyfriend, being like, where you at? What are you doing? Where you at?
Yeah. Who are you with?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So super clingy boyfriend there. It's only 2 hours. It wasn't even a long movie.
Oh, my God.
And called the cops.
Jesus.
She's gone missing. Now, usually the rule's 48 hours, right? Not this guy.
No.
48 minutes, and he's calling 911. So that's an example of someone while you're currently in a relationship being way too clingy. Okay. So I know I'm a better boyfriend than that. I know I'm a better ex-boyfriend than this guy, a 65-year-old man in New Hampshire named Michael Arnold. He was arrested for stalking a woman for 4 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. But he wasn't just following her around. See, he would also fly a small propeller plane over her house in New York and throw tomatoes on a roof from above.
Oh, my God.
like she's doing bad in a stage play or something.
Oh, my Lord.
I wonder if he booed while he did it. Now
he's 65?
Yeah. Well, you got to be that old to kind of have the experience to be able to fly a single plane, single engine propeller plane.
You know how much I hate pickleball, but this man in his retirement needs to go play pickleball, not stalk his ex-girlfriend.
Right, yeah. And invest in so many tomatoes and then be able to throw them while flying. I mean, that's pretty impressive as far as multitasking is concerned.
Yeah.
He would sometimes do these flybys like 3 times a week, and she could definitely hear it. She said he'd fly so close that the doors and windows would rattle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and the woman said she made repeated complaints, and she couldn't get the authorities to take her seriously because, seriously, who flies a plane and throws tomatoes at somebody's house? Well,
this guy.
Yeah, Michael Arnold does. And for the record, even though the plane was Michael's, he denied that he was the one flying it. But he refused to reveal who the pilot was. And I do feel like he had an accomplice. Now, he told the local police that he might be able to, but he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus. So he doesn't want to get them involved, even though he somehow convinced his friend to fly a plane so he could throw tomatoes at his ex-girlfriend's house. Meanwhile, I can't convince my friend Rico to allow me to look through his Instagram page because he's mutual friends with someone I'm blocked on.
Yeah.
But still, a better boyfriend than both Michael Arnold and the clingy boyfriend. So 2 examples. And again, for those you out there might beat yourself up. Maybe you're flawed, but not that flawed. And there's 2 prime examples that you are better than.
And don't take this as advice to up your game.
For me?
No, just anybody.
Okay.
Don't be like, oh, I'm not that bad. Oh, I could get worse. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is that the bar? Oh, well, then I definitely got to step it up. All right. Let's hit the reset. We got more Beef Vegan Presents coming up after these words. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA.
So nevertheless, I feel like rolls off a little easier when it's less, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's the same.
Yeah, no, it's totally never less.
All right.
You're gonna change
Never
it up?
less.
Yeah, welcome. We're live on the podcast broadcast, and thank you guys for streaming. As always, please welcome our guests in studio here. We have Jordan and Casey from Neverless. They just tried to tell me that you could pronounce the name either way, Neverless or Neverless. But Neverless is not a word, like list.
Yeah. You can pronounce it either way. Either way is fine. with
No,
us.
you can't. Nevertheless is
All
the way
right,
to go.
You heard it here first from Beef.
Yes.
It's never less.
Never
Yes.
Nevertheless.
It's pretty simple because now I guess it's probably about like 8 to 9 years ago. Started being able to read words without vowels because essentially if you take the word out, there's a lot of different artists that will take the vowel out
Right.
and it still spells out the word. So
Right.
nevertheless is NVR less or LSS. Yes.
All
Yeah.
capitals.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, if somebody tried to steal my name, I'll say this once, and I'm only gonna say it once, as far as copyrights and stuff like that, which I have the copyright of Beef Vegan, but at the same time, say this station tried to fuck around and be like, we own Beef Vegan. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Now I'm spelling my name BF and then VGN.
VGN, yeah.
Yeah. So boom. So I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people be able to read it as Beef Vegan or Boyfriend Vegan, and either way that works.
Yeah, either way,
Boyfriend
yeah.
vegan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in on board.
Yeah, so we're gonna be featuring Nevertheless as our single song takeover today, and you guys have been putting in work, so we want to kind of focus and feature on that because I've been kind of keeping a close eye on the kind of local scene, but you guys are kind of beyond local scene. I know that you guys perform locally, but you've been doing things and getting recognized and starting to acquire like a fan base and listeners from all over the place, right?
Yeah. We're trying to expand beyond the local scene. Obviously, we respect the local scene immensely, but I think just trying to get over that hump of like becoming, going from local artist to a national act, you have to figure out what the next avenue is to get to where you need to go to be able to perform in those bigger venues like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're talking with Jordan Casey from Neverless on the podcast broadcast. They're here. They're a local band, but honestly, they have kind of a national audience and it's been growing. So we're going to go down the rabbit hole with them and feature their song Going to Hell, which is a new single for our single song takeover. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast and be back with more with Nevertheless after Bear 2's Might Love Myself on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a phrase that you got to go by, and I think you guys are, and that's think global, act local, right?
Mhm.
So and especially nowadays, we were talking about even the way that we present our radio show, right? Now with radio, we have a signal that reaches Southern Arizona, right? But we're not confined by that signal reach Southern Arizona because of the internet.
Right.
So to be able to market and brand yourself and put your content out on the web, then you have the ability for the first time really in the last like 10 years 15 years that you can reach different demographics all over the place and there are no restrictions. So to think just locally is to do yourself a disservice, especially on that. But when you do perform here locally, who are some of your buddy bands that you've been on shows with?
We got to give a shout out to our boys in Echoes.
Okay.
Our drummer does drum for them as well.
Hold on. If you're going to do shout outs, let me throw a hip hop beat out there and then you could do it the proper way, but then you got to really shout them out. Okay.
Yeah.
So shout out who?
Shout out to our boys Echoes here in Tucson, Arizona.
What?
Yeah.
Gotta pay love to the boys in Echoes.
Yep. You got another shout out? Who's another shout out?
Drop that hot fire. We've played with Brace Yourself. Brace Yourself.
Shout out Brace Yourself. Shout out. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Shout out
Yes, sir.
CZYK.
Oh, CCYK.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah. You're blanking on the shout outs?
Yeah, I know. I'm blanking on the shout outs.
Do you have any dead homies you want to shout out while you're there?
No, luckily.
Yeah,
thank
yeah, that's
God.
good.
Shout out my great grandpa.
Yeah.
Never got to meet you, but I miss you, boo.
Yeah, we moved out. I remember.
We're trying to get a couple of shows together with Her Name Echoes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Her name echoes.
Her name
So
echoes.
have you linked up with them yet?
Not yet. We've been talking back and forth through Messenger and whatnot. They seem like super cool dudes. We've seen them a couple times live, so super stoked to.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they're coming back at it. It's gonna be nice to rip some shows with some guys who've been in the scene for a little while now, at least locally.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you guys done any? So this is NVRLSS's Spotify, and actually there is a E in less. So even more reason why it's never less.
Never less.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
All
fair.
right,
That's
so
fair.
yeah, so the 29,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, with singles that have over 500,000. No Time to Die has over 500,000 plays on Spotify, which is a pretty big deal right there. Sympathy has 137,000, and then the latest, Going to Hell, already has 87,000. That like listens on Spotify. Which
Trucking
is great.
along.
We're
trucking along.
chugging along. You know, we're super stoked about the reception that we've been getting from our last couple of releases. We just put out a single, Bones, when like 2-3 weeks ago.
Like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
It's
something like
already like close to 15K or something just on Spotify. So
Really?
yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's just cool to see the reception.
it's definitely been like an exponential
positive.
kind of ride, you know.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's definitely gratifying. We live in like a very instant gratification world. So when you've been working at something for so long,
Tell me about it.
you're not used to that. It pops off for a second. You're like, oh, hey, okay, sweet. Like things are moving in the right direction behind the scenes. Even though you can't see it all the time, it's definitely still getting there. So
Yeah. Now, have you guys been playing locally here for a couple of years?
Actually, no. Our first show that we ever did was on a West Coast tour with Escape the Fate.
Okay, so
Nice.
how and why are you doing
Nice.
things? Wait, how and why are you doing things so backwards? Okay, so yeah. So yeah, NVRLSS is in studio right now. We're looking at their Spotify page, which has about 30,000 monthly listeners. They got tracks on there that are triple digit spins, like 500,000
Mhm.
and so on and so forth. And so your first show as a band was essentially like a tour date. Have you done tours before?
No, we had
Okay.
never done tours. That was our first show ever, and we were kind of just like, all right, let's hope this goes well. And we walked out there and just left it all out there. So I mean,
And it went well.
It went pretty well. I like
was
to
terrifying.
think it
I'm
was
almost-
Yeah.
it was terrifying for the first minute, and then we were like, okay, we got
Okay,
this.
cool.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is where we're supposed to be. This is where we're at.
Well, it's
Yeah.
your first show, so I'm sure at certain points it was whack, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of
definitely.
whack, first thing I did was whack our guitar player in the headstock. There was an entire guitar out of tune. Had to run through the crowd and grab another one.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, so yeah, that show didn't go
Mhm.
off without a hitch
You're
for
right,
sure.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so through that though, what has been your approach online to be able to get people to recognize your music? Because obviously there's a lot of artists that are putting music out online, and usually it falls on deaf ears. So how have you guys been getting noticed? Besides the music being good and catchy, and we're gonna actually feature that here in a little bit for the single song takeover.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that makes us a little bit different than other people is that we have two vocalists that's, not one is doing just screams and then one's doing singing. Like we're both singing often.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
and we have such different textures in our voices that, like I supply kind of like the more R&B, like poppy sound, and he's got these super soaring, like Jared Leto type vocals that are just like in your face. And I think we just really complement each other. And another thing being that having an LGBTQ frontman is definitely a little. It's still a little under the radar, like
Yeah.
for bands and stuff like that. So you see a lot of female fronted bands, and I think it's just it's different to see somebody in the LGBTQIA plus repping like the metalcore community. So
Yeah. Have you been getting a lot of support too from the LBGQ?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's been really good reception for, most of the time there's going to be haters and whatnot, but you got to take it with a
Yeah,
grain
but
of
that's the
salt.
internet, right?
That's
You're
just
not
the
necessarily.
internet,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, such old hat. I mean, the fact that anyone would even like flinch at somebody, not being straight in this world. Like, come on,
definitely.
Like, what in music? What?
Right. Yeah.
I know. And anytime somebody's like, "Oh yeah, and I'm straight, and this is my part," I'm like, "That's disappointing."
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's boring.
You can figure that out.
Yeah. So we're speaking with Jordan and Casey from Nevertheless, and both of you guys are the vocalists. Then,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you
Joint
guys link up?
frontman.
Oh man,
Yeah.
That's an interesting story.
the tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Guitar Center.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's the
I feel
Guitar
like,
Center?
I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
it's love at first sight at Guitar Center always.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how we've heard a lot of our buddies met so and so, from this band and this band. We all kind of got to be in the Guitar Center, getting.
You weren't the douche that went in and started playing Stairway or anything,
Oh
right?
no,
Okay.
no, that's forbidden. I worked at Guitar Center for a while, and
Yeah.
anytime somebody would play Stairway, we'd be like,
Yeah.
absolutely not,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Band for life.
Band
Well, what's
for
another
life.
song that you would hear people kind of tune up or mess around
Oh,
with
God.
that you
back,
hated as a Guitar Center rep?
back in black,
Freebird.
Oh.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
I actually did not hear Freebird as much.
It's a
little more
I feel like
complicated.
it's a little more complicated, but I heard a lot of AC/DC just in general.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's another one too. Oh, Van Halen.
Oh, really? Which
Yeah.
Van Halen song?
A lot of the time, I feel like it was. Why am I blanking? I'm really blanking on the song, but anytime anybody fires up a 5150, they're playing some Van Halen, which I mean, rightfully so.
Okay. Yeah. They kind of own the brand there. But yes.
yeah.
There's still though,
Rightfully
if
so.
you're aspiring guitarist, make sure that you don't play the standards when you go into Guitar Center. You got to consider that they hear that all the time.
Oh,
and they don't want to hear your crappy version. That's a fact. We got
Yeah,
more with
for
Nevertheless. We're going to continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast. And on the flip side, our single song takeover is going to be a song that's going to blow you away. It's the latest from them called Going to Hell. So stick around on Rock 102.1 KFMA. And I mean that too, because when I heard it from, the guy who reached out to me again,
Kyle.
yeah, Kyle. I'll blank on names all day long.
No, it's all
That's
good.
okay.
Yeah. My first reaction, I usually have a physical reaction. Like it's usually in my face where it's a physical reaction when I'm hearing something
Right.
that I like and it kind of shocks me. I'll be like, ooh, okay. Like it's almost
Right.
like somebody just like farted really bad in the same room. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Like
Right.
The
so
stank face.
angry and enjoying it at the same time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
throw the
stank
stank
face
face
for
on
sure.
big time. Yeah. So what's some of the bands and stuff that inspired you guys to whip together your sound?
Oh man, I feel like we take a little bit different inspiration, but I think we can meet halfway. I love Linkin Park, still do to this day. That was one of my biggest influences. And I love Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, they're like a band that's been doing it for like almost 20 years, and
Mhm.
every single time that they put out a record, it's just, I mean, they put everything in it, and they've pioneered like the metalcore sound, and they went kind of rock for a little bit, and I just feel like they constantly they regenerate who they are, and they evolve so beautifully. That's like definitely one of my biggest.
I mean, so much to the
inspirations.
point that they pushed back next gen. Their release was supposed to come out last month, and they pushed it back to January.
Yeah.
And they released Dark Side this last Saturday, Friday, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
another like pop metalcore hit right there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So everything they're doing is on fire, so they have to push
Mhm.
things back, so
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
blow their load, so to speak.
Right.
They just crank music out so fast too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys collaborate on your hairstyles? Like, is this a conversation where you're like, okay, what are you gonna do this month? I'm gonna go with pink, and you're like, okay, well then I'm gonna go with the teal blue.
It's more like Jordy, come over. We're doing your hair.
Yeah.
And then we're
Oh, you did it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do our hair, so I feel like
That's why it looks so good.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar in style too.
yeah, a little bit. I feel like we go through styles, and then like we both kind of just agree on a style, and we're like, okay, this works for us. So, but no, I mean, I don't think I have a like preference on color. I kind of just change it up.
Yeah.
so often.
Yeah, but since you're doing his hair as well, then you're not gonna like give the same color at
Right.
least. at
Yeah,
the very
I mean, we
least.
have been the same color, and it was actually sick. He was, we shaved his head, and then we dyed it, like we bleached it, and then we turned it like super dark teal color, and then I did black hearts all over his head. It was really sick, and I was
Nice.
just all teal blue. But
Nice.
it was really cool.
Are you like a hairstylist as well?
Oh no,
Yeah,
not
they are.
definitely
Yeah, they are.
not.
But yeah, no, I mean, as far as
Yeah,
for
like,
like
I'm
a
not-
side hustle, like any kind of money on that,
No, but any
you could be. Is what he's saying is you
Don't
could
start
be.
charging.
And you
Don't
definitely
start
are
charging.
that.
Yeah.
yeah, well, don't charge the homies for sure.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I've never like done any schooling or anything like that.
All right, you guys both grew up here.
Yes, yeah. You bounced around a little bit
Yeah,
more.
I bounced
in
around a
Arizona.
lot. I
What, like military brat style?
No, I was born and raised in Yuma, and then just parents bouncing around from like Casa Grande. So I've basically stayed Arizona my whole life. So
Yeah.
I've definitely been a lizard since I was born, but kind of bouncing back and forth between here. And I ended up settling here around, I don't know, 2013, 2012, and then just been here since then.
Yeah, so I've been here my whole life, just desert rat, born and raised.
Yeah.
Shout out the high school.
Shout out to Mountain View High School.
Shout out Moreno High School. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Moreno
You gotta
School
drop the beat
District.
again.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah, see,
Moreno.
when I went to Flying Wells, Mountain View was the rich school that had cocaine. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
That's
That is
pretty damn
accurate.
accurate.
Okay.
you
All right.
know?
Cool.
You know, it's funny too because you didn't do the rich high school, and I did actually. I went to both. I in junior high, I was in kind of the poor district, and then in high school, I was in the ghetto of Arrowhead, which was still a six-figure neighborhood, right? So very suburban, and my old friends. They didn't mess around with the good drugs. It was the new friends, the rich friends, who had all of the good drugs and new drugs and tons of it. So it is very strange to see that kind of dynamic. And for the people that I know that are doing well off, and they think their kids are doing great and going into high school, but like good fucking luck. You
Yeah.
have no idea.
Best of luck. Yeah,
All
that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, dude, all of those drugs for sure. All the good ones the rich kids have. All right, let's have you guys introduce your single here on the radio. All right, it's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beefy Presents. As you know, we have the luxury of being able to play one song of our choosing in the 9 o'clock hour. We call it the single song takeover. And with that, I have a band in studio that wants to debut their single for you. And the band's called Neverless. And it is Neverless. Don't let them tell you otherwise.
It is never less for sure.
We have Jordan and Casey in studio right now. And Jordan, Casey, I'm going to turn it over to you. Please tell us quickly a brief summary of the song and then go ahead and introduce it on Rock 102.1.
So this is our new single called "Going to Hell." It's just kind of talking about the state of the world that we live in as we know it, kind of unfortunately declining. But we're here to play it for you. This song's called "Going to Hell" by us, Neverless.
There you go. Nevertheless, the Rock 102.1. Turn it up. Clear. All right, we're going to rock this on the FM side. Earlier this morning, we did a confession session in case you missed it. Actually, we'll do music news. It went a little something like this. Check it out. Yes, it's now 7:51. Time for the music news with Weirdo. What do you got for us today, Weirdo?
Well, in celebration of doing our cover show for Halloween, cover versions that were hated by the original artists.
Oh, yes. There's probably many, huh? Give me a couple examples here.
All right. Well, Van Halen did "You Really Got Me," and Ray Davies of the Kinks, who originally did the song, said it sounded very middle America. Just kind of boring, whatever. And his brother Dave added the quote, "Good art isn't always about having the comfiest technique."
Ah, yes. Look at that burn. It was the middle of the 80s and a lot of things was homogenized and sounded very generic. So I don't think Ray Davies is wrong on that one.
No.
What else?
Well, Limp Bizkit, they did a cover of "Behind Blue Eyes"
Oh.
from The Who, which I do remember when this came out, it did get a lot of hate.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, this was, I think suggested by Rick Rubin. It was off the Significant Other album, and it's not a terrible song, but at the same time, not even close to the original.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Townsend even said it was an embarrassing effort, one that discredits a fine song.
The hate on Limp Bizkit was strong back then, and it continues, even though there is a little bit of a revival for the boys in Limp Bizkit. So what else as far as covers that were hated by original artists?
Okay, so this I didn't know. Megadeth did a cover of These Boots, originally done by Nancy Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
These boots are made for walking, and definitely did not like the raunchier lyrics that Megadeth had added.
Oh, now I gotta look up those lyrics. What were those boots made for in Dave Mustaine's mind?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting always to go back and like look at the original bands that are like, I really wish you wouldn't have.
Yeah. Would you guys be mad if I played Limp Bizkit's Behind Blue Eyes on Halloween? I mean, is that a song that held up over time, or is it something that would make you like knee jerk flinch and like throw up out of your ears?
I mean, Limp Bizkit is my guilty pleasure, and I actually liked it.
You would.
I
Yes,
did.
You would. That's funny. If you meet Fred Durst in real life, you gonna shoot your shot?
No.
Okay.
No.
You didn't like
no.
him that much?
No, not that much.
What if he shot his shot on you?
No, I don't need any more problematic males from the late 90s. Like, I really don't. I have had my fair share of those.
I'm going to update my Tinder profile now to problematic male from the late 90s for sure.
We're in a tank top and a backwards hat.
What? That's the style still, right?
Sure.
Son of a bitch. All right. Give me one more music news story here.
Oh my God. Ozzy Osbourne on the Osbournes podcast does not hold back about everything that he does, including peeing himself during his shows.
Oh, no. He said he admitted to peeing himself during shows?
Yeah. And he was just like, it was just no, am I going to go?
I guess you're in the middle of a show. Is there any particular reason why he felt like he could get away with peeing himself?
Well, because he was already wet on stage anyway between sweat and water being thrown on him. So
okay, so
who's gonna notice?
Yes, like you went to the river recently. When you got out of the river, did you just go? Or
No, I went in the river.
Okay,
like everybody else.
You're right. Yeah. Sometimes I like to get out of the river and pee into the river, but that's a whole nother thing. Excellent job on the music news, weirdo. We're going to hit the reset, give you an opportunity to win tickets for Zach Wild, plus your confession session, and so much more. Coming up next, keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
That don't do the gatekeeping thing, and they do uplift their community, and
Right.
everybody benefits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, we're back, and hopefully you heard that song, Nevertheless, Going to Hell on the FM side as well. Dual listeners there, and it was self-produced as well. So when did you start recording and producing music?
So my dad got me a like little rinky-dink laptop, I think, when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I think I got
Was that like 3 years ago? How old are you now?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No,
how
no,
old
I
are you
know.
both? Because you
I
both
know.
look about 21.
little baby
I'll
face
take
right
that.
now.
I'll take that.
I'll take that for sure. I'm 25.
I turned 26 in August. So
There you go.
Yeah, you're still
good
babies.
age.
my bones are starting to creak.
No,
It would have shocked me if you were
Trust
like,
me, they're
I'm
not.
47. Like, what? Bottle your blood and sell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so about 10 years. So yeah.
About 10 years. I just kind of I've recorded with a couple of engineers, and I learned, just here and there from watching them do their thing. And I think I got to a point where I was like, I really like how this sounds, but I would really like it way more if I could just do what I wanted to do with it.
Mhm.
And I had all these ideas, didn't know how to articulate that to the producer. And I think every single time I was just like, it's missing something. And I think now that I have been in the chair doing the thing and like writing the music, I feel like you can hear the personality in our music more than we've ever been able to personify with other like producers. So
Yeah. What programs do you use?
I use Logic Pro, and I use a butt ton of plugins. That's pretty much, just plugins for days. So my computer does not often agree with me. It's like, oh, help me!
What's
out.
happening?
Oh,
What is happening?
Yeah.
I
So-
know.
It's on fire sometimes.
all
You
my
gotta-
Logic users out there, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. That the Logic kind of
Yeah, the
freaking
freeze
out
up.
on you.
Gotta keep a fire extinguisher in the room.
Yeah, it does
See.
get super hot in there. If we have to turn like the fan off to like record vocals, it gets so
It's a little mini heater.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you can't pick up the white noise in the background.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
yes.
it gets a little musky in there
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I know how that is.
Arizona
Yeah.
summer, dude.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And now with the writing process, like, do you start off with lyrics, or do you like kind of start off with a hook? Like, where do you guys start?
Kind of depends.
It really depends, but I think a lot of the time it is based around vocals. I'll just be like scatting melodies in my into my phone, my voice notes, and I'll just go back and be like, oh, that was a fire idea. We'll just kind of build off of that. So
You're like, wow, I'm impressed with myself.
Believe it or not, a lot of my best ideas either come sitting in the car, like just driving from A to B. I don't listen to a ton of music like in the car. So I'll just be like, singing little songs to myself. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fire. Cool. I'll record that real quick. Just, I swear I'm not hurting anybody in traffic. I'm just like, la-di-da, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not texting. It's the next number one hit.
It's the next radio smash,
No,
bro.
officer,
Yeah.
listen to this. No.
Yeah. No, officer, it wasn't like that. Listen to how fire my mixtape is. Yeah. So that, and also, sitting on the throne, really, honestly.
Yeah, get inspired.
I
know. I've
It's-
written novels.
it's an inspiring place to be, I guess.
In just one session. I'm just there all day long. We got Neverless in studio right now on Rock 102.1 talking about, technology, how easy it is and how you've been incorporating it and songwriting. I got some technology news I want to share with you about AI real quick, because have you been utilizing any AI to do any kind of like AI images or
No,
any of that?
I really try to stay away from the AI stuff. It's kind of creepy to me.
A lot of artists
but-
are creeped out by it, but in a way, this is a part of the future. So
Yeah,
it's one of those things where a lot of
evolution,
people
man.
argue that you're either going to use it or be left behind.
Yeah.
I'll give you some weird AI developments as it continues to evolve. There's going to be speed bumps in the road.
Right.
Meta's testing a new AI dating coach, which if it's anything like Mark Zuckerberg, I think it's a lot like Mark Zuckerberg, because it turns out this AI dating coach is a bit of a prude. Yeah. Artificial intelligence is telling you not to get it on whatsoever.
Yeah.
They launched a bunch of different AI personas on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and among them is Carter, who is the dating coach. And while Carter is cute, people are calling him vanilla and a kink shamer. I knew you'd be offended. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know.
Of
Guess-
course,
no,
well,
no.
with a name like Carter, what else did we expect?
Nah, I mean, that's a pretty vanilla name for sure. Gizmodo tested the coach, and when asked about swinging, it said that it could be dangerous and advised against it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could, but also don't.
If
well,
you're
yeah.
literally swinging from like a tire swing
Okay, yeah.
over a bridge, it's dangerous. But swinging, I don't know.
Yeah.
The tech publication got specific about certain kinks, and Carter responded, as an expert in red flags, I got to be honest, that's a big one. Let's talk about relationship green flags instead. So Carter's a nerd, right?
Uh-huh.
So
What were the green flags? He said.
Yeah.
you know what? Gizmodo didn't really go down that one, but the
Mm.
new AI coaches only have one lane, is what they're discovering,
Got
and
it.
that is the prude and trident way. So I wouldn't turn to AI for dating advice.
All right, so I need all my Kingsters to get out there and like flood that page so it like boosts the algorithms way better.
Yeah. Like Carter, let me tell you about DVDA.
Carter's a verge.
Yeah, you know it. Now, speaking of AI, there's been a lot of controversy and discussion about copyright material, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence essentially takes all of its information from search engines and then regurgitates it in a way. But a lot of the information they're getting are actually previously copyrighted material. So how is this going to affect copyrights in the future? Well, Google is defending users who get in copyright trouble due to AI. They say the problems involving copyright infringement get you in a bind because you used AI, and Google says they'll have your back. Google's vice president of trust and safety said in the blog post, put it simply, if customers are challenged on copyright grounds, we will assume responsibility for potential legal risks involved. So if you're going to get sued using Google's AI, Google will bust out their lawyers to defend you.
Okay.
And that might
I
be,
mean, I
kinda
think
cool.
that's kind of sick, actually.
Yeah.
You
Have a
know.
little bit of backup.
for how long
Yeah.
is this going to last? Now, this is a move that follows similar policies already established by Adobe and Microsoft. So in a way that if you use their technology and you get sued, then you have legal backing. And that's the only situation that you're going to get legal backing, unless, you get arrested for a crime and can't afford an attorney. Then one will be provided for you by court of law. But that's something that Google, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're like, no, we want you to be able to
Mhm.
steal copyrighted material, and we got your back.
That's a fine line to walk.
Mhm.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
Welcome to 2023's bingo card. Never thought we'd have to do this. Remember when everybody got mad when you would use Wikipedia?
Oh,
Like that
man.
is so
Yeah.
10 years ago now.
Oh
know,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, seriously, such a square for picking Wikipedia now, or or even what is it? No, it is Wikipedia. Okay. Anyways, there's your AI news. Let's keep the conversation going on the podcast broadcast. I want to play some music videos. You got some music videos, correct?
We sure do have we have a few.
A plethora.
Yeah. Let's check them out here on youtube.com/beefvegan. Be
All right,
back
let's
with
do it.
Nevertheless right after this and Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, I think I believe you sent me a link. Oh, before that though, let's get adorable with dogs. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
I'm both. I like both. But I have 2 cats myself.
Okay, yeah. What about you?
I am also both a dog and a cat person, but I do have a little baby cat that she's not a child. She's like 3 or 4, but she is my little sweetheart.
But she's
Yeah.
your child.
I would burn mountains for her.
No, I was technically a dog guy. Recently became a cat owner because the cat just showed up and wouldn't leave. It's my
Oh.
daughter's
Yeah,
cat.
he got adopted
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the cat.
I feel like that's a normal thing.
Yeah, apparently it
See,
is.
Yeah, when a cat takes you in, it's just a different kind of love, you know.
It is,
It
and
is.
that's what it
They,
was.
they
So
selected you, and I feel like dogs do love pretty much just everybody that will give them love. But I think if a cat loves you, it's a totally different type of love. It's like I'm choosing to love you, and cats don't like anything. So
Yeah.
Cats have taste.
Yeah,
cats
that's
have
true.
taste. Cats have taste.
They
have you
standards.
did you
They
have
do.
to
Yeah, they
have
really
you ever
do.
tried to adopt a cat and went through that process? Because that's a pain in the ass process. I discovered
Yes.
this the hard way because I was trying. My daughter wanted a cat, and I had to have all these interviews with all these cat ladies, and they had to determine if my home was the best home for said cat,
Right.
which I was extremely offended by because I didn't know all
I think
the
they might have
answers.
been put off by your name. Be
Maybe.
vegan.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
Like we gotta make sure. We just gotta make sure, you know.
Yeah, they're like, "What will you do to make this a happy home for the cat?" And I'm like, "Well, I won't kick it." How about that?
I won't kick it. Yeah.
There will be food.
There will be food.
Food and water, and you're good to
Yes.
go. And I'll clean up after the
Stuff to
shit.
climb on.
But this is a dog. This is a dog who loves his owner so much. He won't
Aw.
leave his owner alone. This is the cleanest dog ever. Check
That
it out.
Boston
Yeah, it
Terrier.
looks like a Boston
Yeah.
Terrier.
Check this out.
Aw.
Oh my god.
This is what he has to deal with.
Yes,
He can't sleep 4 in the morning.
Aw.
Yeah,
All up
see?
in his face.
dude.
Dog, no standards.
Spazzing out 4:50 a.m.
You got the zoomies.
Oh,
Oh, yep.
6:20 a.m.
Angry.
One.
and back to 1:30 a.m. So that's an
Wow.
average night. Like him giving a kiss, and this is why he's sleeping alone. Doesn't have a partner next to him, because of that dog.
Because the dog is his partner.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I just love the fact that he was like dry humping the stuffy, and then like 2 seconds later, he's passed out.
sleep.
He finished. He was done.
Yes.
Gonna have to start interviewing. the
Have you
dogs.
watched the movie Strays yet?
Strays. No, is it out?
It's on Peacock.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Ah.
It's okay. But
Oh,
the dogs do have a fetish of couches, which I thought was pretty funny. So you get a chance, you could check out Strays. on
Okay, I didn't
Peacock.
realize. Yeah, I didn't
Strays.
realize it was out yet. Let me text my partners right now and be like, "Guess what we're watching this weekend, guys?"
Yeah, yeah, it's been out for this since last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was nice. I was like, okay, let's watch this. But Will Ferrell, I don't know what he's doing, man.
Everything.
Well, he hasn't really been on a good run of any kind of good projects lately. Besides, he just did a voiceover in Strays, but
That'll be his Garfield.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Okay, here's another video I want to share with you real quick, a viral video. Now, here's a scenario. This woman lives in an apartment building that's on like the 10th floor. So there's an elevator that comes up, but it's a poor design by the architect because they put a mirror on the opposite wall of the elevator. And the
Okay.
problem is when she opens the door to to get her food deliveries, this happens every single time. And so she documented this. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So it's an optical illusion. It goes a little something like this. every single time.
That would get me for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd run right into it.
Oh yes.
I don't know how they're stopping reflexes.
Well, they've got their hand out.
Yeah.
He just startled himself.
I guess when you're walking into someone, that's also you.
That,
Right.
that's the
Sorry,
first
man.
guy. Yeah.
Right, and they're coming at it from an angle, so they don't see their reflection to the last second.
hmm
Oh.
Yeah. So it just looks like boom, person's right there. So that's today's fail in architecture. And then one more viral video I want to share with you.
Also,
real
how
quick.
much Uber Eats does that guy order to record?
I know,
all those
right? That's a
videos,
lot.
man.
That's a
all of the Uber Eats? Oh
Gotta
my
have
god.
the-
My
gotta have the dash
19-year-old,
pass
that's
for
the
sure.
only way that they eat. Is they do Uber Eats and DoorDash and all that.
Crazy. Learn
Really?
to cook some
Mhm.
food.
yeah.
They are. They're a chef. I'm like, why don't you just make your own?
Yeah.
Easy, I guess.
Good morning, Sparky's mom. Good to see you. Keep those comments coming here on the podcast broadcast. Got one more viral video of a person that got a little too close to a moose. You know, the thing is, if you see a moose out in nature, obviously you want to take a picture, but don't try to direct the moose into posing for you. You're only going to piss it off. But
I
this,
feel like that's a given, right?
you would think so.
you
but
would think.
I come across these videos all the time. People just so dumb. And this lady, I'm assuming, found out the hard way. Check this out. All right, so the moose gets up. Now this is glorious. This moose is huge.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, stand there. Perfect picture.
A unit of a moose.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you see the moose's unit too. It's getting longer as she's taking the picture. And then what?
What?
There's a little scream that she did too. Hold on. Let me do a replay.
He said you could see his unit too.
You can see it. It's getting longer. You hear that?
Oh man.
Yeah.
And the moose is like, what? All right. And he shriveled up as soon as he heard the scream.
I feel like that's the only
Yeah.
proper
And watch it in
response.
real time. This is for you, weirdo. The moose's unit gets longer as she takes more pictures. More pictures. Ready?
And
Click, 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 click.
Show off
There
time.
it is. You want pictures? Here you go.
Don't
How
kink
about the
shame
old moose knuckle?
Oh no. Don't
Just
kink shame
another
the moose.
lesson of like, stop messing with animals and nature, please. I think it was one of the national parks. I'd be like, stop going to the bison and trying to help them. They are
Yes,
fine.
the bison do the. Oh, this happens all the time in Yellowstone. But
Mhm.
another funny thing, real quick, there's a lot to dissect in just this 46-second clip. Besides the moose penis, but of course, she's gonna drop. She's gonna drop to the ground, right? Make that noise, right? And then while she's still laying on the ground and the moose is staring at her, she puts her camera up, takes a picture from right there. Yeah,
Relentless.
that's a good shot too.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's a great
mean,
angle.
She was willing to take the L for that photo op
Is
for
that the-
sure.
Is that the MO when a moose is pissed with you? You just lay down?
Well, you know, if a
I think
moose
it was
is
good
dead.
thinking.
Yeah.
At least she wasn't running away. She was just like, I'll play dead.
Gotta learn.
yeah, no, I mean,
Whatever.
honestly, if she turned her back and tried to run, then I'm sure the moose would have got her in the ass, flipped her up in the air,
Oh,
did
yeah,
all that
that-
kind of
that
like
would've
running
been
of the
not
bull
good.
style. Yeah, not good at all.
The more
For sure.
you learn, you know. If I ever encounter a moose out in the Tucson wild,
Yes.
I'll make sure I lay down.
Which you won't. That's good news. That's good news.
It is.
on.
It is good news.
Yes.
For sure.
But you know, if you do see a moose in the wild and then you see his penis expand, then curl into a ball immediately because it's going to attack or something.
And make an off-putting noise. Ah!
and take plenty
Yeah.
of pictures.
Oh yes.
Need that.
All right,
proof.
let's get see Bones is the latest single that you guys just released,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. We just put Bones out like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah. Now, who shot the music video? What's the background on that?
That is our homie Gabe. He's a really, really good friend of mine. And we have done all of our videos with him actually. So the story behind the video is we're kind of getting more into the realm of talking about, you know, I don't want to say like politics really, but like, you know,
Social.
social norms being forced on us as a society. You know, there are pretty radical groups out there that, you know, get off on hating people for who they are. So
right, yeah.
I feel like that's all I'll say about it, but it's definitely one of our favorites for sure.
All right, well, let's check it out. Here's the music video for NVRLSS's latest single, Bone.
I'm afraid to cross the line, yeah. I don't even wanna leave my home. Afraid that somebody will take a knife and drag the very blade across my throat. They're scared that I'm different. When we die, it's hard to both they look the same. When you see the stars, will them do us suffering? And when they find yours, what will they say? Will they see the hate and the pain it caused me? Think of everything you've done when you're all blind. You don't even think that's what to say. Condemning people like me, tell me go to hell, but I think I'm there already. You're a lost cause, but you don't even care. You back down, you're gonna help, but I'm alright. You just protect your life. You just protect your life. When we die, it's on the battlefield, they look the same. We see the signs of the new suffering. When they find yours, what will they say? Will they see the hate and the pain it caused me?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beefing Presents. We just saw the music video from NVRLSS called Bones. Shut up, Mount Lemon. Yeah.
It's a good backdrop.
Yeah.
I feel like the vibe that we were going for was kind of like paying homage to Paramore's Decode video that they did for like the Twilight series, where they did it in the forest, and I was kind of like, I would be kind of sick, man. We love us some Paramore, so
Yeah.
Nice.
Watching your video and hearing your catalog, and thinking of bands like Brace Yourself as well, just makes me so proud of Tucson's metalcore scene.
Mhm.
You know what I
It's
mean?
coming
Like,
up.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And like very strong contenders for the conversation amongst a lot of heavy hitters out there. And metalcore itself is just blowing up.
Mhm.
You kind of feel like the trend is coming back to guitars in a long way, in a large way. And the melodics and scream, the essential metalcore formula. So
Well, and you just said like the textures of the voice and having the difference of like the clean vocals with the unclean vocals is just it blends so well that people just didn't realize before.
yeah.
So Jordan, Casey, how well do you know each other?
I like pretty well.
I feel like really well.
Okay, good. We'll find out how well you know each other because I want to play a game.
Okay.
All right, so this is normal or nope. I'm going to give you an example. I want you to say if it's normal or nope. Okay, so these are situations some people enjoy doing all the time. Some people don't.
Mhm.
So let's say this, normal or nope. And then I just want you to shout it out when I say it at the same time, okay? Eating cake with no frosting.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, nope. All right, see, there you go. You guys, I mean, when was the last time you ate cake with no frosting? I mean, that's something I feel like weirdo you would do if you were
Correct.
paying attention to the conversation.
No, I
whatsoever.
am paying attention to the conversation.
Is
Okay.
it even cake without frosting?
It still is cake without frosting.
I just
Yeah, exactly. Okay, normal or nope? Sleeping with your socks on.
nope.
Nope.
Yeah,
Absolutely nope.
yeah, you can't do that. You got to cool down. Well, what about this? I think this is an Arizona one, and I think in other areas, people the answer differs based off the climate. But
Okay.
using a fan in winter, normal or no?
Normal. Normal.
Normal.
Yeah, I haven't even turned my fan off since I bought it. Right, like,
Yeah.
I got it in my room. I press on, and then I walk away, and then 3 months later, still running.
Right.
Yeah, just
Tell
need
that-
that circulation.
Till
That's
that
silly
motor
fans.
burns out.
A
My
silly fan
house
hanging
is
off
70
the
degrees all year round. That's, I mean, I
70 degrees.
I might pay the price
Yeah,
with
you
that
do.
electric bill, but you know what? Comfort over everything else.
Over everything else.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how you survive in the desert for sure.
Yes,
Mhm.
1000%.
All right. Normal or nope? Cooking in the microwave with the door open.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
How do you even do that?
How do you?
Yeah, I don't know how,
How do
you
you
do
do
that.
that?
Yeah.
Um.
I guess if you want cancer.
Yeah, dude.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Normal or nope? Cracking eggs on the edge of the pan.
Normal.
Normal.
Yeah, okay. Normal or nope? Eating a sandwich starting from the middle.
Nope.
How do you no, but don't you
Well,
slice
I
it
guess-
in the
well, I
middle?
guess if you cut it in
You just
half.
fold it, I guess.
No, you cut it in half.
Yeah,
and
if you
that's
cut it in
middle.
half, you technically start in the middle.
I mean, if,
Do you start at the
so-
crust?
Well, like if it's a whole sandwich, like
Yeah.
you.
It's the
But if you-
inside.
But if you cut the sandwich in half, which it has to be diagonal, you cannot cut it in half.
Yeah,
Don't do that. You're a psychopath.
Yeah, you gotta go triangle style.
Gotta go, yeah, triangles only. Then yes, eat from the center. But if we're going whole sandwich, absolutely not.
Also, if you're going that far to cut it in half, you're not just going to cut the crust off while you're there. Come on now. No.
Oh, no, we're grown. We don't cut the
that-
crust
see,
off.
for me, that's a nope.
Crust.
You
Ah,
gotta eat the crust. Though.
quick, and this could be odd, but normal or nope? Smelling a book before reading it.
Normal.
I was about to say normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you
What is
go.
it? Bibliophiles when you love books? Yeah, I will do that. Oh, I love going into like antique bookstores.
That's like
Love the smell of it.
that is just like one of the best smells ever.
Yeah, well, we'll do a couple more examples on the podcast broadcast stream. Be back with your beef tip after these words. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right.
By the way, in his head right now, when we did that, he's like, fucking nerds.
No, I do like the smell of a good book.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. It does smell good. Okay.
Smells of knowledge. You know.
All right. Normal or nope? Putting ketchup on scrambled eggs.
Normal.
No.
Oh, see, but you
no.
know what though? You were just like, I cut off the crust of my sandwich too. There's a lot
You're
of
right.
your food styles that you
That reflects an
Yeah,
8-year-old.
no.
pre-K.
I don't like
Pre-K.
I don't like
Whatever,
sugary
man.
eggs, man. I don't like sugary eggs.
Wow. No, I can't do it
With,
either.
with cheese on them for
I'll take some
sure.
cheese.
Do you guys
I'll
do
take
so
some-
like sriracha?
I love
on eggs?
sriracha.
I
Yeah.
can eat sriracha.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta do hot sauce on
Casio,
eggs all day
something
long.
like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
didn't
That's
know that was a
Sriracha's
thing.
really good on deviled eggs.
Yeah,
Mm.
no,
Super-
you're not wrong about
super
that.
You're gonna mess up a good deviled
I
egg
think
with
I
sriracha.
I think
Oh,
I
dude,
had a
if you haven't had it, don't
sriracha
knock
based
it.
deviled eggs itself. So like in the deviled
Yeah.
egg mix.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've had some fancy ass deviled eggs in my day.
Oh, I love deviled
Yeah,
eggs.
yeah. So
Pay
do
the
I.
price later, but you know.
I'll tell you what,
That's
deviled eggs.
sulfur.
Like
Yeah.
and we're coming up on the holidays, like Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving essentially is like how much? Like, can you eat a dozen eggs in one sitting? You
Yep.
can if it's deviled eggs. You end up eating 24 little half slices, and they're so good.
Yeah.
Do you have a deviled egg recipe that you F with? Do you know how to make 'em, or you just eat 'em?
I mean, I feel like the best way to do it is just like you do the yolk, the mayo, like a tiny bit of mustard, salt, pepper, a little bit of vinegar. But I do put like just like an eighth of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce.
Okay, yeah. No paprika?
Oh, paprika on top for sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's more of like a garnish type thing. you know?
Yeah.
It's not.
See,
I don't
you
know.
can't eat
But-
any of this.
Oh my gosh,
she
shut
can't
up.
eat food, dude.
No,
It's-
but
she can
this-
eat butt.
shut up. You know I do. Last year was the first time I'd ever had sweet potato casserole. I was not
Oh, wow.
aware of this angel food cake. Oh my God, it's so good. I had no idea. I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to put brown sugar on potatoes? I didn't understand.
Oh yeah.
And now I will never go
I feel
back.
like that's the best way to eat.
Unsung
It's like
heroes.
candy. Yeah, it really is.
And then my girlfriend left it on broil too long and it caught fire with the mushrooms.
Oh, no.
Yeah, poor thing. Where she's like, what do I do? I was like, take it outside. I don't know.
Right.
We still ate it.
I'll tell you what, I do get I wasn't necessarily a big fan of Thanksgiving in the past, but recently my sister, she goes all out like a super chef on this. So it's like some of the best food ever. So I'm like, fuck. I know I got a plan to get ready to like gain 10 pounds. And you can't like, first off, you want to eat a good amount to show respect for them putting in the effort, right?
Right.
But then you want to stop at a certain amount to show respect for yourself.
Right.
And that's where I fail because I'll eat and I'm showing my respect. I'm like, God damn, it's so good. And then
Right.
just keep going.
Yeah, I think I'm right up that alley
The
as well.
self-respect
No
filter
self-respect.
is non-existent
No.
at the dinner
Non-existent.
table. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ketchup
Yeah.
on the eggs.
We had to take a picture of me and my boyfriend last year because we both ate so much and we're on the thinner side. So we both look like 6 months pregnant.
Oh, I
Nice.
love that.
We totally
Thanksgiving
took a
food,
picture
baby.
of it. Oh my God. It took like 3 days to recover. It was so
Hashtag
bad.
couple goals.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. It was so bad.
So skinny people can eat too much and look fat, but fat people eat too much and feel fat. And there's a difference.
There's definitely.
And I feel that, we're like, like
Oh,
you
I don't want to
can't
move.
you can't look and tell the difference, but trust me, I feel the
Right.
difference.
I'm feeling it,
gotta
be
Mr.
mad.
Krabs.
Oh my God, my 6-year-old realized the pain of overeating. He overate for the first time the other night. He's like, Mom, I don't feel so good. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, because you ate too. And I'm like trying to explain to him. He's like, I'm gonna go sleep now.
I'm gonna go
I
to
was just
sleep.
like, oh,
I'm gonna go
buddy.
take a 9-hour nap.
Yeah. Yep.
Even the next day, he's like, I regret all my life decisions.
Right.
I'm like, you're 6.
You have a good day too there, Joe. And see, Marie says that yes, ketchup on the eggs. So she was saying yes
See?
to that. Did you know
Fair enough.
Crowd pulled.
one of our streamers, Mackenzie, is getting married on Sunday?
Mm.
And I was busting Andrew's balls, the producer of ESPN, because he's getting married. I didn't get an invite, but then he almost asked if I was like, he found out I'm an ordained minister, and I'm pretty sure he was this close to asking me to like officiate his wedding. To which I would have been like, "Fuck no, you didn't invite me to the wedding.
Right.
I'm not gonna go work it." But Mackenzie did, and I'm gonna go to Mackenzie's wedding on Sunday.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah. And it's like, it's nice.
Congrats.
Yeah, I know. And she was just like, you don't have to dress up or nothing. I'm like, I'm there, barbecue and all this stuff.
Right.
I bring this up because I found out that my best friend, one of my best friends, but like my best girlfriend, Corey, she's going through a breakup, a divorce, and with her husband, which is heartbreaking.
Right.
But then I found out that she was never legally married to begin with.
Oh.
Yeah. So her entire wedding was essentially just a facade. It was just an event to play getting married, but they never got married.
Wow.
And the reason why I'm upset about this, is because I fucking DJ'd that wedding for free. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even get married? Like, if
Like they didn't get a certificate, they didn't sign it,
None. And I was like, you know what? For fake weddings, I charge at least $500. For real weddings, for friends, I would DJ for free. But you didn't even change your last name. You didn't sign a certificate. And my buddy Tim, he got ordained to be the minister for this wedding, and he was dumb enough to actually pay for it. And then he was even dumb
God.
enough to realize he didn't sign anything after the wedding.
So wait, how long have they lived together though?
Not long enough, dude.
Oh, okay, 'cause
No,
it
it
says-
wasn't one of those things. No,
okay,
no.
this Arizona 7 years is
In
common
fact-
law property.
No, actually it's not. But in fact, when they did throw this wedding, I was thinking it was too soon for them to get married, but they weren't even
Right.
actually getting married. So I guess it was fine. But in hindsight, again,
That was a fun day. Let's do it again.
they asked me to DJ their wedding for free for their wedding
You
as like a
DJ'd
wedding
party.
gift. And I'm like, it's not even, and then I just found out literally this weekend that it was like, this is not even a wedding gift. A wedding is when you get married. This is just a party. And
Right.
party gifts, again,
Wow.
$500 is what I would charge.
Was that the rehearsal?
Yeah, dude. It was basically like, and the wedding, it was like raining and it was outside. It was up at Cave Creek. So I'm moving my equipment back and forth in the rain so it doesn't get damaged. I did a lot.
Like, oh, it's for a good cause.
It's
Tell
for
the
a
Yeah,
good
it's for
parents.
my
cause.
best friend's
Yeah,
wedding.
yeah, yeah.
And then found out my best friend didn't get married at all. It was
Yeah.
all a
Oh,
sham.
gosh.
The whole
So you DJ'd a
thing.
party with
I
like,
DJ'd a party
like
for free.
like a black tie event.
Didn't even get to get that drunk because I'm working.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to enjoy it.
Did you hook up with one of the bridesmaids?
You know what? I had a girl really putting on the full court press, and she really was. But then I was too busy being responsible, and then I had to put my stuff away. So no.
Double
And
whammy.
Hannah is in a relationship now. That's her name. We're Facebook friends. But I was this close, and she is so hot, weirdo. I was so close.
So many levels of disappointment.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, Alyssa says that Nevertheless breakup anthem is Sympathy.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So shout out for that song. And I want to shout out and thank you guys for coming in. We're actually out of time. I just wanted to end the show with bitching about my friends.
Oh no,
Um,
that's you know, I feel it.
Fake
Well,
wedding's a fake wedding, man.
Fake
know,
wedding's a fake wedding.
I did. Yeah, exactly. But I do want to thank you for coming in. Very
Thank you so much
excited.
for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
excited about everything that you guys are doing. So you check out Nevertheless on Spotify today and on social media. People can follow you at where?
At We Are Neverless on pretty much everything. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter /X.
There you go. Yeah, and it's
Well,
spelled NVRLSS.
Yep.
So unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the podcast broadcast. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/beefvegan. Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
Awesome.
There it is.
Upon a side of
Oh yeah,
beef,
thank you so much for having us.
will
Of course.
come an end to all your grief.
Sorry, I had a hard
But
out
if
at
you
10.
send me no
Thank you guys for
kind of
watching.
bad, I will knock out all your teeth.